Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome a very senior and accomplished marketing professional from Colorado, USA, Mr. Andrew Newland. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Andrew is the founder and chief executive officer of Functional Medicine Marketing. So, Andrew, before we talk about functional medicine marketing, a few questions for you. Tell
For
me a
sure.
little bit about your journey and what was the inspiration to found functional medicine marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I graduated with a degree in public speaking. So I've
Mhm,
always loved, I love getting in front of people. I love communicating with
mhm,
people.
mhm.
It's always a challenge because everybody has a little bit different mindset. Everybody has a little bit different background. So the challenge is to kind of to break through that, not noise, but
Yeah.
be able to decipher people. And so that's always been a real core part of me
Mm,
is that communication part. So right out of college, I actually started a landscaping business. So working on people's yards and we actually built yards. So
mhm,
we didn't maintain, we did more of the building from scratch. But my favorite part was always the creative side, doing that design and then communicating with people. That was always my favorite part. The hard thing about landscaping is it's very seasonal. So my wife and I, we had four kids, very young, very close together. So at one point, my oldest was four when my fourth one was born. So we had
wow.
four and under. And if you have kids, that is crazy. That is just so much work.
Yeah.
And you don't sleep hardly ever. And so we've got all these kids. We're trying to run this landscaping business, and
Mm,
it's just just that daily grind, but never really kind of making it. We'd
mm,
see these little glimpses of success, and then overhead was so high, we'd have a truck breakdown, or we had employee issues, and we just kind of tanked down at the bottom, and we just
mm,
kind of did that cycle for 10 years, and it just felt like a grind, and we weren't making any progress. So
mm,
we were able to step away from that. We did sell it, but didn't make a lot of money from that. At that time, we then moved to where my wife is from in Ohio, USA, and so we wanted to be close to her mom, and her dad had passed away, so we wanted to, while the kids were young, we wanted to move there. And
mm,
while we were there, we started kind of dabbling into marketing. Just again, it's that communication piece, and I always enjoyed marketing our landscaping business. So we kind of dove into that. But again, I was personally going through a lot of just growth is the positive way of saying it. I was to this point where I just felt like everything I tried failed. And I got to this point, I call it, I was hopeless on a hill.
mhm,
And there was this hill out, but we had this little rental house, and we were just really struggling financially,
mm,
not sure where how we were going to pay the bills, and I just kind of went by myself, which was rare because we still had four kids, and just kind of up on the hill, and just this weight of just kind of hopelessness really hit me,
mm,
and I just felt like I was failing as a man, as a husband and a father. I couldn't provide for my family. I couldn't figure it out. And in that moment was the turning point.
mm,
And we hear those stories all the time where you get the lowest possible, and as you bottom out, and that becomes that turning point. And it 100% was for me.
yeah.
And for me, it was realizing that I was the problem. And it wasn't, I couldn't blame anybody else. I couldn't blame, just my personality, and people didn't understand, and, all these little failed little businesses and jobs that I tried. And I really came down to the point where, am I willing to do anything
Mm,
to provide for my family, to become the man I needed to be for my wife and kids? And
mm,
and in that moment, and I'm very thankful, so thankful for that moment. And I just, you know what? And in my mind, there were two options. I had some life insurance,
mhm,
so heaven forbid we go that direction, but that way I could provide a
mm,
little bit,
mm,
or I could buckle down and I could actually focus on me and figure out me. And
mm,
really, it came down to I wasn't. committed to making anything work. If there was any kind of obstacle, I took it as a sign that I shouldn't be going down that path.
Mm.
And so it just, you know what? Whatever obstacle, whatever I need to do. And I started working on myself, and I started, I was like, okay, I have to conquer sleep. I was just, it was really hard for me to get up in the morning. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to just start getting up early. I needed to conquer exercise and just getting
Mm.
my body moving. And up to that point, I thought exercise was just kind of dumb,
Yeah.
I don't need to do that. And I realized, oh my goodness, did I ever need to do that? And so I'm getting up early. I'm starting to exercise, and just again working on me, and then thinking about my diet. I had gotten to this point where I just had gained a lot of weight, and I was starting to feel uh, achy and headaches all the time. And I started getting allergies. I never had
Mm.
allergies before. When I was a kid, I had asthma, and that all came back. And it was just this compounding of
Yeah.
symptoms. And I was like, okay, now I have to work on me physically. And in that working on me physically, that's what really started to create a tenacity in my mind to be
Mm.
able to go through obstacles rather than come up against a little obstacle and just quit. And
Mm.
so it was just that day in and day out struggle to get up early, to exercise, to eat well. And I started seeing some pretty fast changes on my own health.
Hmm.
And that was inspiration to then start seeing some changes in our finances and
Amazing.
job and career. And so at that time we had started a or a marketing business. My wife has a degree in English, and she was an amazing writer, is an amazing writer, and so she was working for another marketing agency, and I was doing some websites and some social media, and so we kind of dabbled a little bit, and then in 2017 we just decided, okay, we're going to buckle down. We're actually going to start an official marketing agency, and which was not actually functional medicine marketing. But it was just kind of a general industry agency. We helped local banks, we helped used
Mm.
car dealerships, we helped public schools, churches. We were all over the place.
Yeah.
So, but then kind of, coming back, our journey with our health
Mm.
kind of got us into thinking about, okay, instead of just taking pills for symptoms, what's actually going on? Like, can we fix the problem? Can we get down
Mm.
to the root of it, right? To the actual core
Yeah.
problem. And so that kind of got us to learning and researching about functional medicine.
Yeah.
And so at that time we got in touch, kind of connected with a functional medicine practitioner for our own health. And that was instrumental in changing our health. And so we started to, oh my, this is amazing. And as we started learning, about all these clinics that they don't take insurance, they don't take any government money. You have to have cash, and you come to them. All these functional and integrative medicine clinics, which is the perfect opportunity for what we learned with marketing and the success we had there, to be
Mm.
able to combine that and help practitioners who are really endeavoring to care about people's health and to get to the root cause.
Mm.
A lot of times that's very complementary to traditional medicine. And so it became a mission of ours.
Mm.
And our mission statement of our business is to help functional medicine practices help more people. So help
Amazing.
you help more people, and that's the core of our mission with our company.
Wow. What an amazing story, Andrew. Thank you for sharing it with me and my
Absolutely.
viewers and listeners in so much detail. There's so many lessons to be learned from your incredible journey.
Yes.
Let's talk now about functional medicine marketing. Tell me,
Sure.
what is functional medicine and what are some of the common SEO mistakes functional medicine practitioners make?
Yeah, absolutely. So functional medicine is a really broad term that includes a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So kind of the core kind of tenet, like I said, of functional medicine is to get to the root cause
Mm.
of health issues, of disease. It's going to include a lot of in-depth testing that is more in-depth than just kind of your traditional allopathic testing.
Mm.
And then it also includes lifestyle changes and dietary recommendations, supplementation, but also working with other specialists to, maybe get off some of those,
Mm.
get off some of your medications that you're just
Yeah.
kind of stuck on. So maybe getting to that root cause. So
Mm.
there's a lot. I mean, it's a big umbrella to say
Mm.
functional medicine. We've got integrative medicine. We've got even some aesthetics and red light therapy and IV therapy. All of those would fall under that category. Chiropractic
Mm.
healers would fall under there. Eastern medicine would fall under there. Chinese medicine, all of those really kind of fall under the category. How we are using it, it's a very broad term.
Amazing,
Now,
amazing.
a lot of common mistakes that practices make. Some take insurance, but some don't. A lot of them think if I just have my own business, if I just hang out, put the sign out there that I got a functional medicine practice, they think they're going to just get people flocking to them.
Mm.
There's an old movie called Field of Dreams, and the
Hmm.
quote, "If you build it, they will come." And a lot of doctors and practitioners have that feeling. Well, I took the risk to go out and
Yeah.
start this business. People will just flock to me. Not at all.
Hmm.
People
Hmm.
don't know about you. And
Absolutely.
so, one, you have to have great marketing. And like you said, a
Yeah.
common mistake with SEO is they're not doing any SEO.
Mm.
They're falling victim to this kind of this social media hype that
Hmm.
if I just post enough on my Facebook and Instagram or TikTok, then I'll get lots of patients.
Yeah.
And that's not statistically possible anymore. It used to
Right.
be a lot easier, but now here's a statistic for you and your listeners. You'll
Mm.
be lucky if you post on Facebook, just an organic post on your business page, you'll be lucky to reach 2.5% of your followers.
Wow.
And those are already people that follow you. Those aren't new
Mm.
people. And
Mm.
Instagram is just a little bit better. It's like 4.7% of your followers. So again, trying to reach new people by just
Mm.
posting is a monstrous hill to climb. And in some cases, it's just not even possible. And
Mm.
so one of the best ways that we have found to help practices grow, actually get that exponential growth, is
Mm.
through SEO. So SEO, for anybody out there that doesn't know, SEO stands for search engine optimization.
Mm.
Simply put, we want to get you on the first page of Google
Yeah.
if somebody's searching for functional medicine or
Absolutely.
integrative or a symptom or a condition. So
Mm.
we've developed a very comprehensive SEO program that
Mm.
does that,
Fascinating.
which is very different. Yeah.
Fascinating. And since you talked about search engine optimization and get on the first page, tell me, for my viewers and listeners, what kind of percentage views does a first page get versus the thousands of pages you have otherwise?
All of them, right? And we all know that an actual statistic, I think maybe it's like 5% of people actually go to the second, maybe third page, but it's just almost none.
None.
So if you're not on that first page, people just aren't going to find you organically. And so,
Absolutely. Very well
yeah,
said.
yeah.
And this is a great lesson. Thank you. Tell
Yeah.
me, moving on, what are the must-have elements of a functional medicine website today?
Oh, that's a great question. So, some key essentials. So, I have what I call the goldfish test.
Mm.
As if you're watching this video, you can
Yeah.
see I got two goldfish here,
Mm.
and I actually have these to remind me how short of attention span people have,
Mm.
especially when they come to a website. I
Mm.
used to say we had the same attention span as a goldfish. I don't know how they measure it, but they say goldfish have an attention span of 9 seconds.
Okay.
Well, in 2025, people have a much worse attention span
Amazing.
when it comes to websites. So, up at the top of your website, if you don't do anything else, you want to make sure it's very, very clear what you do.
Hmm.
What you do. It sounds simple, but when we're building a website, I see it all the time. People want to get really clever. They want to be very artistic. They want to, be very engaging. But if somebody just glances at your website, can they know right away what you do? Let's say you're a
Hmm.
chiropractor.
Hmm.
Let's say you're a chiropractor. I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Say you're a chiropractor in Colorado Springs, Colorado. In the top of your website, it should say chiropractor Colorado Springs, Colorado. I
Hmm.
know it sounds boring,
Yeah.
but in this day and age, people are not taking the time to read through, and consume all of the content. They want to know, do you help me with my thing?
Hmm.
You need to help them. You need to show them right away. So be very clear.
Yeah.
And that actually is really good for SEO because
Hmm.
in the same way, we want Google to know very clearly what it is that you do.
Hmm.
Let's say your functional medicine practice and on, the headline on your website is, um, helping you thrive through the trials of life, right?
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
that sounds fun.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Does Google know what you do? No. If people just glance at it, unless they know about you, they don't know what it is. So that's one
Hmm.
of the biggest things is start with clarity over cleverness every time.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, and then the second part of the goldfish test. So, what is it that you do? The next
Hmm.
thing is, how does it help me? As the person reading your website, it's easy for doctors and practitioners to want to talk about their qualifications,
Yeah.
about their services, about, you should come to us because we're amazing. And
Hmm.
you are, but what's going to connect better with people is
Hmm.
showing that you understand what they're feeling and what they're
Right.
going through. So,
Correct.
what is it that you do? How does it help me? And then the big obvious one that really gets overlooked all the time is how do I get it? That's the last question on the goldfish test. That's
Hmm.
that call to action. What do you want me to do? How do
Correct.
I get in touch? And a lot of times, I see this pretty often where they'll have this button that says sign up now. Rarely is somebody going to see your website and then sign up. If you're a doctor, now if you're, maybe you're a plumber, something just you don't need a relationship with your plumber. You just need to know they're good, right?
Hmm.
But with a doctor or a practitioner, you have to earn that trust and
Correct.
build that trust. So the best way to do that is to take them the next step.
Hmm.
Say, hey, let's get started. Do a welcome call.
Hmm.
Schedule a discovery call. And maybe you don't do it with the doctor. Maybe you're a bigger practice and you've got some coaches and some staff that can handle that welcome call. But you want to think about taking people just to that next step, just to
Hmm.
that next step, rather
Hmm.
than going from they don't know you, they don't even know what functional medicine is, all the way to now they're a patient in one visit to your website. It's not going to happen.
Hmm.
So you need it really clear.
Hmm.
How do people get in touch? And don't try to get them, don't try to get, you're not trying to sell it right away. You're just trying to start conversations.
Hmm.
So there you go.
Amazing. Amazing. Tell me, Andrew, how is AI, artificial intelligence, which has now pervaded every single aspect of our lives, how is AI changing marketing and the way SEO is implemented in private practice?
Great question. And this is just at the forefront of everybody's minds.
Yeah.
A lot of marketing agencies are scared that
Mm.
AI is going to take their job, right? And I'm not in any way. I see so many more opportunities,
Hmm.
but the opportunities are for uh, good companies. If you're just out there as a marketing agency and you're just doing these template funnels that you throw everybody into and you
Mm.
claim this is going to solve all their problems in 30 seconds, your days are very much numbered.
Correct.
And in fact, they're past numbered. I mean, it's just
Mm.
not working anymore.
Yeah.
And if if you're in and you're in your social media and you see all these ads where, hey, we can get you 30 new patients in 30 seconds for 30 cents,
Mm.
it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
It's statistically not working. They'll get you 100 leads, and 99% of them don't remember signing up for it.
Absolutely.
The 1% just don't want to spend any money. So
Mm.
they're just looking for the cheap coupon
Yeah.
$39 special, and they're not good patients.
Yeah.
So AI is getting rid is negating that and making it
Mm.
necessary for great marketing agencies. And we
Mm.
have to level up. The great thing about me and my company is that's always been our plan. We've always created personalized, customized strategies for everybody.
Mm.
When it comes to SEO, think about Google. How does Google decide who it's going to put at the top of the list?
Right.
And it always is going to prioritize the best websites and the best content.
Mm.
So if you have all of these functional medicine practices or companies using AI to create this SEO content, we're getting is a bunch of normal boring content.
Mm.
So the opportunity to rise above and have better content
Mm.
is easy. And you want to think about AI, say ChatGPT, you want to see that just as a tool to leverage your time.
Yeah.
You still need to be thoroughly engaged in the
Mm.
marketing. It's just like any tool. The
Mm.
person that knows the tool the best is going to be the best at it. And so what you want to do is you want to learn the tool, but don't just rely on the tool and kind of park your brain in the back lawn,
Yeah.
right? You want
Yeah.
to you want to engage it, you want to utilize it, learn it, but then like with SEO content, you want to go in and you want to personalize that content because that's what Google is going to prioritize. Because
Mm.
Google has a lot more content now
Yeah.
to sift through, and it doesn't want to sift through all
Yeah.
that. So it's actually non-indexing a lot of pages because that's all this content is the same. So you want to start with ChatGPT to just help you get some bones, and then
Hmm.
you go in and you rewrite, adding your personal experience, talking about testimonials from your customers and clients
Mm.
and patients.
Mm. Amazing. And we have time for two more questions. How
Do
do
it.
you help clients balance short-term lead generation with long-term brand building?
That's an excellent question, and I think that's one of the biggest problems that we see within our potential clients coming to us. They just don't
Mm.
have their expectation is if they start marketing, they automatically start getting new patients.
Mm.
And when it comes to healthcare, anything within healthcare, you have to earn trust. And in this day and age, when there's content hitting you from all over the place,
Mm. Mm.
you have to stand out and you have to earn that trust.
Mm.
You have to be authentic and you have to be a real person. And that does not happen fast.
Mm.
One of the things I always tell people is if you need me to fix your marketing in a month, I am not your guy. I'm
Mm.
just not. And I don't believe there's anybody out there that can do it. But when you come to growing your business, whatever it is, you have to have this mindset of good marketing takes time. It's like the old story about the tortoise and the hare, right? The
Mhm.
tortoise always wins because it's slow and steady and consistent, and that's the best marketing. So if
Mm.
somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I've got $10,000, I want to go all in on my marketing," I tell them, "Hey, it's better. Let's space that out. Let's do less so we can do it longer, and we're going to get
Mm.
more return
Correct.
every time." Every time.
Great advice. Great advice. How can clinics use video or podcasting to support their digital visibility?
It comes down to leverage.
Mm.
Comes down to leverage. If you make a video, if you do a podcast, you can use that everywhere.
Mm.
So when it comes to good marketing, there's two parts to good marketing. You want to start conversations.
Yeah.
You're trying to sell. You're trying to start
Mm.
conversations because you, as you're the practitioner, you're that business. You
Mm.
get that conversation, then you sell it. The other thing is you want to be omnipresent. You want to be everywhere where people are. It
Mm.
used to be people had to see your brand 10 times to remember you.
Mm.
It's more than that now. It's 15 to
Mm.
20
Mm.
times
Mm.
before they'll even remember you.
Yeah.
So to be omnipresent, to be consistent in their
Mm.
feed, you need to be everywhere. So you need to be on social media. You need to be in their email. You need to
Mm.
be on their podcast. You need to be on YouTube. You need all of those things.
Yeah.
And so the benefit of video is make a great video and then chop it up into little social media chunks.
Mm.
Utilize the transcript to create a blog, an SEO blog on your site, and then use that to make an email campaign. And then I mean there's just so many ways that you
Yeah.
can use that. And so
Mm.
in the end, as business owners, even if you're not in medical, you leveraging time is the most valuable thing you have.
Correct.
So leveraging that time, and one of the best ways to do that is to do video. Google loves video. YouTube, social media loves video, hands down above just a graphic or just written content. You need all of those things. It's like a puzzle. There's a marketing
Mm.
puzzle,
Mm.
and you want to do great at every piece. I get asked all the time, which piece is the most important piece? What's the one piece that I need? And I tell them, that's like saying, which one car part do I need to run my car? Nope, they
Mm.
all work together. And
Yeah.
so in the same way, and so making video allows you to leverage. So it's
Very
all
nice.
about saving that time and leveraging that content.
Fantastic. And my last question for you now. Can you
Sure,
share an example of a client's website, and I don't want any names, where
sure.
you actually had to transform it and delivered some amazing results?
Absolutely. So there's a couple actually. So one small clinic, just one doctor. He does real kind of chronic disease with
Mm.
functional medicine. So these are high ticket, packages. So it's not just a $50 kind of
Yeah.
chiropractic appointment. These are, thousands, 10,000, $15,000 programs.
Mm.
He was selling about one every 3 months, less than one a month. So we were able to go in,
Mm.
and we rebuilt the website, and we focused on SEO, and we really didn't do a lot else for them. We did a
Mm.
little bit of social media just so it was there, but we focused heavily on rebuilding the website, kind of with the goldfish questions I talked about, and then really devoting time to a comprehensive SEO program. And we were bringing him 10 new patients a month.
Wow.
So from less than one to 10 new patients a month.
Incredible.
We've worked with him for years and years and years, and we're
Mm.
still going strong. He keeps adding new programs, and we just keep building. So small, and there's that benefit of getting in front of people
Yeah.
on organic Google search. And then we've got big clinics that
Yeah.
have, you know, 10 providers and doctors, and they came to us and just in shambles,
Mm.
just losing traffic, even though they're super well known. We were able to go in, fix the website for SEO, and we wrote a lot of content, are writing a lot of content for them,
Mm.
and just have totally turned that around visibility wise. So they don't have to just rely, they're very much influencer on social media, but the traffic from social media was even decreasing. So we've been able
Mm.
to really turn that around, and just get them a lot of visibility for sure.
Fascinating. And on that note, Andrew, I just want to say what an amazing conversation this one has been. From your incredible journey, uh, from doing landscaping to becoming a marketing guru.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking to me about functional medicine marketing. The way you explain search engine optimization is quite amazing. You also spoke about call to action, which is so critical for any marketing on any website.
Yes.
Thank you for speaking to me and all the very best to you.
Thanks, Ash. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.